So check it out. CD Projekt RED has stealthily launched a free DLC website. Check it out. It says free DLC starts hitting Night City early 2021. Stay tuned for more info. There's a video playing and then there's an image hidden away behind the video. And yeah, there's some secrets hidden within. We're going to be talking about those in this video, plus going over a bunch of other news as well. So let's begin. Hey everyone, what's happening? Overworld Games here. Hope you're doing good. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First of all, starting with this mysterious website right here. Now remember, leave a comment down below. I'm going over your top comments in every video, including this one. But hidden away behind this video, which of course shows Johnny Silverhand, some shots of the beautiful city, and of course Judy. But check this out. It says, "Where's Johnny?" So with this free DLC that's coming up here in 2021, we could potentially be expecting quest lines and storyline expansions to Johnny Silverhand in some way. Maybe even playing as Johnny Silverhand. You know, in Cyberpunk 2077, that there are main missions and missions in the game where you actually take control of Johnny Silverhand. Who would like to see Johnny Silverhand's storyline expanded in Cyberpunk 2077? Now, of course, we're going to be getting paid DLC eventually down the road with Cyberpunk 2077, but this website specifically refers to that free DLC that was already teased. But what do we know about the history of CD Projekt RED and their free DLC? Should we really honestly be getting super hyped about free DLC or not? Well, we can look to, of course, their previous game, The Witcher 3, and see what they did with their free DLC treatment. And let's talk about it real fast. So, of course, with The Witcher 3, they actually came out with beard and hairstyle set. Now, this could actually mean that, of course, with Cyberpunk 2077, we could get an expansion into character customization, where you can actually customize your character after the initial character creation screen. So I'm thinking that's going to be the case with one of the free updates that's coming to Cyberpunk 2077. Now, Witcher 3 also got the Elite crossbow as well. So expect, honestly, I would expect weapons to be coming to Cyberpunk 2077. Free weapon sets and things like that. Really exploring the world to get those free weapons as well. And I would expect those to be attached to these new quest lines that will be happening. But yeah, there were a bunch of new armor sets that were given for free to players for The Witcher 3 as well. And also, most notably, a bunch of new quest lines. So it seems like they will be expanding upon these quest lines. It would be cool if they further fleshed out the actual, random quests that you run into in the world. Now, question, what would you like to see from free DLC for Cyberpunk 2077? And even the paid DLC expansions, what are you expecting? A lot of people are hoping that we can actually go to space and visit that space station that is actually part of the Cyberpunk 2077 universe. That would be really, really cool. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about this one right here. CD Projekt RED has already recouped all development and marketing costs spent on Cyberpunk 2077. So already they are, doing very well despite the issues with the game and the refunds. Let's read about it. It says here, subject, information regarding the estimated return on companies' investments related to development and promotion of Cyberpunk 2077. Now, get this. It says the management board of CD Projekt RED, with a registered office in Warsaw, hereby announces that the estimated licensing royalties receivable by the company in association with pre-order sales of Cyberpunk 2077 across all of its digital distribution channels have exceeded the sum of the following: total development expenditures related to the game and the game's marketing and promotional costs borne by the company, either already incurred or anticipated for the remainder of 2020. That's actually pretty incredible to think that they actually recoup their money on both the development process of the game and marketing just with the pre-orders. So that's huge news, and it shows, in my opinion, despite the issues with Cyberpunk 2077, that yes, it is going to have a very bright future, and the franchise itself is also going to have a bright future, as long as CD Projekt RED can survive the lawsuits, keep the band together. That is the development team, keep them all together and happy. That's going to be on CD Projekt RED and the board of directors going forward. Now, also, check this out. Assassin's Creed Valhalla takes Christmas #1 as Cyberpunk 2077 falls to 3rd. This is, of course, according to the UK boxed charts. So what does that mean? It just means that Cyberpunk 2077 failed on PS4 and Xbox One base consoles, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a more solid experience overall in terms of bugs and glitches. However, it seems like PC players are really enjoying Cyberpunk 2077. It says here, Cyberpunk 2077 still the most sold game on Steam for the 3rd consecutive week despite criticism. That is absolutely incredible. So you could see how solid, at least more solid of experience, the PC Cyberpunk version is compared to those console counterparts. Let me know if you're on PC how you are enjoying the game. I have run into many bugs myself, and I just think that personally that they are unacceptable because they're happening at key points in the story, and for me that is the worst. Like, these are bugs where dialogue's not working, they're telling the storyline, progressing it. I'm just like, wow. So yeah, this game definitely still needs to be patched, and we're going to be expecting those patches once we start hitting 2021 through January and February. Now, check this out. There's a lot of agreement on this one that the AI is definitely problematic in Cyberpunk 2077. This is the post. It says, the AI of Cyberpunk 2077, an in-depth look at the worst AI in modern gaming. Let's take a look at this one. This is definitely interesting stuff. It says, let's start with what CD Projekt RED told us about AI in Cyberpunk 2077. We've greatly enhanced our crowd and community systems to create the most believable city in any open world game to date. The city streets are bustling with crowds of people from all facets of life, all living their lives with a full day and night cycle. Furthermore, it says this, according to new CD Projekt RED interviews, Cyberpunk 2077's new real-time AI systems will allow for incredible dynamism. Thousands of NPCs will have actual daily routines throughout the Night City's 6 districts, including a ton of robust and varied characters with cyborg implants, unique designs and animations, and day and night cycle. So they were really bragging about a lot of stuff that never happened. This is the post. It says, now let's compare these statements to what is in the game at launch. No NPC day-night cycle. NPCs spawn and despawn outside of the player's view. If an NPC is doing an action, they will do that action forever until the player moves. NPCs that are not story side quest related have only one dialogue reply. I think a lot of people are disappointed in that one especially. I think they were expecting to build relationships outside of even side characters with some of these NPCs. And then they say this, if one NPC is assaulted, every other NPC in a large circle around the player will crouch to the floor in the same animation, even if they did not see the original assault. That's pretty bad. NPCs in a car will follow a specific route. If the route is even slightly interrupted, for example by your car, they will cease to move forever until you remove the obstruction. So AI is weak when it comes to pathing and things like that in cars. NPCs in a car will follow a specific route if the route is even... Alright, we already went over this one as well. Now it says NPCs in a car will not attempt to move or exit their vehicle if you assault them with bullets or another vehicle. Just wow. NPCs will not acknowledge the player if they run the player over in their car. You know, this stuff has been in open world games for like a decade. So yeah, to not have simple things like this in the game developed is pretty crazy. You're seeing an example of how bad the police AI system is in the game, how they just pop up out of the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely infuriating. Now, it says here, NPCs will not attempt to steal their vehicle back if you steal it from them. That's actually in Grand Theft Auto. NPCs will not attack you or defend themselves in any way or form, even if engaged upon with just fists. Police spawn around the player's vision when the player is wanted forever until they attempt to hide or drive away. Police do not attempt to question, warn, or arrest the player for even the smallest crime committed. For example, if you bump into them or accidentally enter a private area. So yeah, I think for me to have a wanted system that's not robust is a real bummer, because I think that makes the world so exciting in Night City. And they've been like really toting how aggressive the police force and max tac are, and to have it underwhelming in this game at launch really sucks. And it says this: police are incapable of driving cars and chasing the player if they drive away. Police will not attack hostile targets like gangs if they are not already doing so in an activity. Police will know if the player has attacked an NPC in the middle of the Badlands and spawned next to the player without vehicles. NPCs will rarely thank or acknowledge the player if they are helped by the player. Scripted NPCs that have dialogue will say their dialogue, then proceed to stand there forever. They will also repeat the same dialogue if the player leaves the area and visits again later. So for me, the big one here is how police will show up in the Badlands. I feel like there needs to be a difference between the districts and areas of the game in terms of police response. They brag about this on the Night City website, that some areas are more dangerous than others. I feel that with certain gangs and their levels, especially in the beginning of the game, but you don't feel that with the police force and their response. It's strange. It just doesn't make sense. So let me know what you make of the AI and what you think needs to be improved. Please leave a comment down below. I will definitely do my best to highlight it. And mentioning comments, it's that time again. It's time to go over your top comments. So let us begin. First top comment comes from JB, who says, I wonder how Sony felt about him sending all of his upset customers to flood their site and abuse their staff while they were preparing for a Christmas break. I liked Witcher 3 as much as anyone, but CD Projekt RED totally is in the wrong here. They made a decision to sell a product they knew was bad to people and to lie and hide how bad it was. All the repercussions of this are deserved, and they're lucky they don't go bankrupt from it. Yeah, a lot of you agree with that one right there. And then that big cram says, if you fall for the scam, you deserve it. Can't be this stupid, seriously. And this was a response to the most recent video I did. Check it out, about actual cyber criminals performing what I would call an online heist against fans of the Cyberpunk 2077 brand. They advertise, hey, there's a mobile game, download it. And once you download it, they lock your files on your phone or your device, and then they basically ransom you. They say, hey, pay us $500 in Bitcoin, and we will unlock your files and your images and things like that. And people actually have fallen for this. Like $8,000 worth of Bitcoin have been handed over to these cyber criminals. So yeah, to see that people actually fell for this is kind of like, come on. But people actually do, and that's what these cyber criminals know. They know that there are going to be people that will fall for this. Now, Bob says this, because the game runs so well on last-gen base consoles, it should run great on mobile. And he's showing how ridiculous it is that Cyberpunk would even be considered on mobile. But there's been the spin-off games for core games definitely released alongside the big AAA experience. So maybe that's what someone was assuming. I don't know. Nilix Davis says, I guess you can say the fans got Cyberpunk. Okay, I'll leave. Get out of here. Pira Maniac says, if CD Projekt RED gets a lawsuit for bugs, Bethesda should be in jail. Well, Bethesda, I know they dealt with some forms of lawsuits related to trademark issues or something else. But yeah, who knows? The future of publishing video games on Sony's platform and Xbox may actually change, considering that these companies are expecting a certain degree of quality. So we'll see. Jagerbomb Plenty says, years of good faith, credibility, and popularity curb stomped by 2020. 2020 strikes again. Cool Gamer says, once I heard Bitcoin, I LOL'd. And this was a reference to the fact that the cyber criminals, instead of asking for straight up $500, they asked for Bitcoin. And that's like, for me, that's like the biggest point of, this is a scam. Don't pay it. Don't ever pay anything, of course, related to these. They're called ransomware scams. And, you know, honestly, if you fall for it, well, hopefully you don't. Just be warned, there are scams, of course, related to some of these big AAA games and especially mobile games. And when they use Bitcoin, that's a huge red flag, because for some reason, a lot of these scam artists are using Bitcoin in particular to try to scam people. But thank you all so much for watching. That does it for this Cyberpunk 2077 video. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 news updates. And I will see you all next time. Take care.